How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're going to be chatting about them loading screens because they are quite annoying. No matter what you say, they are annoying. But Eurogamer caught up with one of the developers from People Can Fly, and they explained why we do have them loading screens. So sit back, relax. But before we carry on, if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all the love we've been getting over the past couple of weeks since I've started covering Outriders. Still a small channel, still got to hit that 1,000 sub goal, so let's do it! Okay, so as we can see on the screen right now, an editor at Eurogamer called Wesley Yin Paul caught up with the creative director Bartek Kamita and lead designer Piotr Nowakowski. That was hard. Yeah, they just go over some reasons why we got these loading screens, and I think it's nice to know. I think they're a little bit jarring, but I'm not going to give them loads of hate. It just goes to show what kind of place gamers are in right now, doesn't it? I mean, we're getting hate over loading screens. They're not too bad. I don't know what they're like on PS4 and the Xbox console. That's the same as a PS4. I get lost with Xbox and all the console numbers. So let's get started, eh? So right here, Outriders can be played 3-player co-op throughout the entire game. And without dedicated servers, Outriders needs to bring all players together when one wants to enter a new area. The game isn't able to have all players running around entirely different arenas at the same time. So there we go, no dedicated servers. I know that's a bit of a thorn in most people's side, but you've got to wonder why. I mean, it doesn't have PvP, so maybe they didn't see the necessary cost for that. It started quite pragmatic because we needed a system that would help us teleport the players and stream some other content to start to load to other arenas. But why have cutscenes showing your character transition, performing banal actions such as opening doors, climbing ledges, and jumping across chasms? That's so funny to me. When I first saw that, I was creasing up. Like, it looked like an effort for Outrider as well. This really powerful, awkward person literally looked like they were straining to jump across a bridge. After all, it's not like Outriders is the first co-op game to offer different arenas for players to explore at the same time. Last gen we had Destiny, and the gen before that we had Borderlands. There are many other examples, each with their own solutions for keeping co-op players seamlessly playing together in the virtual world. That's what Wesley goes on to say. Because of feedback during playtests, People Can Fly said, initially Outriders did not have these loading cutscenes. Instead, there was a simple fade in and fade out as all players were brought together. But some playtesters complained they were disorientated when they loaded into a new area. They didn't know where they had gone to, and so the brief cutscenes showing your character physically moving to a new area were born. Okay, I don't know why, maybe that caused them to feel a little bit dicky. A good example was opening the door. That was only because people in playtest said, oh, where am I? Why was I teleported? So we needed to have these cutscenes. Oh, well, there we go. That's why people were feeling a little bit lost, because you were just getting teleported and maybe they couldn't get the teleportation right. We couldn't have done it so manually you can go through the doors because we have a multiplayer game that opens different problems for us. Okay? Specifically on the jump cutscene I tweeted about, Nowakowski explained what's happening under the hood. I'm the person who's triggering the travel. So I want to jump to the other side and start a battle on the opposite side. Let's imagine one of my friends is next to the city to Rift Town. The second one is travelling along the main path towards the enemies there. I cannot just go there and trigger 3 different areas because it will not work in a game without dedicated servers. Okay, that makes sense. Second, if I will just trigger that transition, then the 2 others will be teleported. Then they will see, okay, where are we? Our idea, maybe it doesn't work exactly as we wanted, but the idea was, okay, show all the players what's happening, that we are jumping on the opposite side so they see. Look, they're being really honest and transparent here. They've admitted that this idea that they've got isn't ideal, but it's a lot better than, I suppose, one of us, like they say, is in the town, the other one's about to open that bridge towards the captain's battle, and then we're just like, oh, where are we? At least we do know where we're going, although it isn't ideal. And props to them for being transparent. Same with the doors. Okay, we are entering that area. Our idea was to explain what's going on. Plus, we just need to gather all the players and not separate them in different areas. The alternative solution would have been to automatically break groups of players up as they loaded into new areas in the game world. But People Can Fly was desperate to avoid that for Outriders, Wesley went on saying. Without dedicated servers, our solution would be if 2 guys want to go to different parts, we have to separate them, so they will not be able to play together. Because everyone needs to compute the AI and everything on their machine, we would have to had split the party. I would like to have the door opening animation for 2 seconds, but still playing together with my friends than just breaking apart through transmission, so we chose this solution. We understand it's not the best. Kamita went on to suggest People Can Fly will look at perhaps improving these loading cutscenes so they're not so annoying, but it sounds unlikely that fundamental changes on this can be made. We will try to look at this, but I can't promise a huge improvement can be done, he said. Again, at least they're not trying to pull the wool over our eyes, they're not trying to blag us, they're just being honest. This was the best solution that they could come up with, although it's not a great one, and there's probably not a lot they can actually do with it, considering this is the actual demo. This is what we're playing, is what we would be playing if we didn't have the demo. And I'm not a developer, but this isn't a quick fix. These area transition cutscenes are most jarring when playing Outriders solo. That's true. When playing the game as a single player story driven looter shooter, which People Can Fly insists is a perfectly viable way to play the game, the structure of the game faces tough comparisons with other single player story driven action adventures that have for years now given players more elegant solutions to the loading new areas problem. In other games where the transitions are more seamless, there is much more space. You, the player, need to run, drive, or things like that, Kamita went on and said. The streaming, the loading that is happening in the background in our levels is really intense. We just needed that solution to stream everything to prepare the next arenas, and also to have the team together to play in a single arena, not split. And Wesley went on and said, for its part, People Can Fly said the prevalence of the loading cutscenes reduces a bit the further you get into the game. In Rift Town, where quests, new areas and cutscenes are densely packed, this problem is keenly felt. Rift Town was the early stage of the game, so we experimented with plenty of solutions. Quests in the middle of the arenas, things like that, Kamita said. The two doors being in the same place, being close. From the structure point of view, it's good because you are traveling. You have both doors. But from the point of, okay, cutscene here, cutscene there. So if I'm going from one to another, there are a few cutscenes in a row. So there are some solutions that we noticed. And later in the game, it's more consistent, I will say. So less things like that are happening. Still, they are there and we need to go with that and make it work as good as possible. I feel in Outriders we have quite a few interesting solutions from the design point of view. That one is not necessarily as good as we expected. I believe there are a few that are working really well and I'm really proud of. Okay then, so they've basically admitted that at the beginning they wasn't too sure. As we know, this is the best they could come up with, but as the game was getting more and more progressed, they found better ways of dealing with this. So hopefully things will get better. Reaching on to what Wesley was saying about single player, I kind of get that. That is, if you are playing single player, why do you need to have all these loading cutscenes? But if we're going back to the dedicated servers, but then you're not in with anyone, are you? You're theoretically just playing on your own. So I don't know if they could swap and change that. I'm not a developer. But guys, let me know what you make down in the comments below. Personally, me, it is a little bit jarring, but it's nothing to bitch and moan about. Personally, like nothing to go all crazy, but I don't know, us gamers just in a weird spot right now with being let down so much in recent times. I don't know. Outriders has been getting a lot of hate as well, I've seen. And again, I don't know why. Yeah, it's got its problems, but it's also got its place in a looter shooter. And I just want to sign out quickly, guys. And I've heard the gunplay. This is exactly the phrases I've heard. The gunplay isn't Destiny or The Division. Well, no, because it's not Destiny or Division, and it's not meant to be. Unlike them two games, the guns in this game are there to assist the powers with the mods that you get on the guns. It's not that the guns are not the forefront. The guns are an added bonus, but they look really cool, and their weapon design is probably better than them two games just mentioned. But the powers take the forefront here. And I would just like to say, the cover to cover in this game is meant for the enemies, not us. Because we're so damn powerful. But guys, that is another video. I am going to be going live later over on Twitch. So feel free to join me. I will leave the link down in the description below. I will also leave the link down to Wesley's article here, so you can go and read that for yourself if you like. But until the next time, guys, have a good day, have fun, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.